What's up guys, Stark here. In today's character spotlight we are taking a look at Robin Hood. Now his pictures are on the screen right now for you guys to see, and he is an archer class, so he will be effective against sabers and he will be weak to lancers. So he has pretty good artwork. I actually prefer his third form as opposed to his fourth form. But whatever. And it's Robin Hood. Like, that's really weird. I know Fate's about like legendary heroes and stuff like that, but I don't really associate Robin Hood into that category. And there's also a couple other characters that I'll be doing later that I feel the same way about. But it's cool, like, because that's the thing I like about Fate. They could pretty much take any character that has any sort of backstory and boom, they're a heroic spirit, because that's the way Fate works, and that's why Fate's awesome. And that gives them so many options for new characters. Anyway though, I'm going to throw up his stats here. So at level 70 he has 6,715 attack and 10,187 HP. He is a little bit on the weaker side, but you don't really need him, especially for his attack stats. He makes up for it with his skills and his noble Phantasm. And we're going to talk about his skills right now. So his first skill is going to be called Sabotage A, which will increase or decrease all enemies' attacks for 3 turns and inflict poison to all enemies for 5 turns. And this is pretty good. The attack decrease isn't that much, but the poison's really nice, so he's going to do 500 poison damage every turn for 5 turns. So that's really, really good damage. And that's to all enemies too, it's not just one enemy. So that kind of makes up for his lower stats on the attack stat. And that's really nice. I don't actually think poison can kill an enemy though, but still, if you get it down to 1 HP, it's basically death to begin with. So anyway, his second skill here is called Golden Rule E, and this will increase his Noble Phantasm gain for 3 turns. It's a pretty moderate gain, so there's not a whole lot here. I wish this was something else, but you do want to use Noble Phantasm, so maybe if it was like a skill that actually just increased the gauge instead of increasing the gain, that might have been a little bit better for him. But anyway, that's what it is. And his third skill is going to be called May King B, which will apply Sure Hit for 1 turn, apply Evasion for 1 turn, and gain critical stars. So basically, Sure Hit is just a stat that makes him ignore the enemy's evasion. So you're basically going to, as it says, have a sure hit on your attacks. But that's it for his skills. The first skill's really good. The other ones are alright. But the first skill is, like I said, is really good. So you're going to be using that quite often. So moving on to his Ascension and skill enhancement materials. He does need some jewels here for his third Ascension. And then some Dragon Claw or Dragon Fangs. There's not a whole lot here. The fangs are, I said it again. Yeah, the fangs. That's right. Okay. The fangs are going to be the hardest part for him to ascend him all the way up. But really, it shouldn't be that much of an issue to fully ascend him, unless you want to do it right away. I don't recommend that. I just take your time, gather the materials, and then ascend him all the way up. And then his skill enhancements, you need a couple feathers, the jewels, and seeds. So, pretty standard stuff here. It's pretty generous in my opinion. I know farming this stuff is kind of a pain in the ass, but it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. So moving on here to his craft essence is going to be called No Face Making. And this will increase art card effectiveness of all allies by 15% while in the field. So again, it's another one of those generic craft essences. Not much else to talk about here that I haven't already said about this type of craft essence, but it is pretty good if you can get it for him. So next up, we're going to talk about his command cards and his Noble Phantasm. He has 2 quick, 2 arts, and 1 buster. So you do want to use him on an arts team or a quick team. And then his Noble Phantasm is going to be arts as well, which will deal significant damage to a single enemy, and that'll deal bonus damage if the enemy is poisoned, and then it will also go ahead and inflict poison on that enemy for 5 turns. So if you combo with your first skill, odds are that you're going to that enemy's already going to be poisoned, so it's going to do, you know, an additional bonus damage because that enemy is poisoned, and then it will inflict poison again on that enemy. Now this is really good, but just imagine if this skill was an AoE skill. He would be so good. And he's already really good, but he would just be that much better if his Noble Phantasm was actually an AoE skill. Alright, so for some of the craft essences that you could use on this guy, it's going to be the pretty standard setup here. Kaleidoscope, of course, to get your Noble Phantasm ready. And then for the arts ones, you're going to use Projection for the 15% increase, or Formal Craft for the 25% increase. You could also use like Noble Phantasm gains like Heaven's Feel to do a little bit extra bonus damage on your Noble Phantasm. But that's pretty much it for him. I'm sure in the future there's going to be like cards that do more damage to poison enemies, and then he'd probably want to use those. But for now, that's pretty much everything we have for him. So that's going to end it here for the Robin Hood video. I will be doing Kiyohime tomorrow. So I'm going to leave you guys here with Robin Hood's Noble Phantasm, and I will see you guys tomorrow.